Hey, it's CDA and welcome back to Patron. Last time around we had a pretty nice setup for things like lumber as well as some furniture we are now making. And yeah, we are in a pretty good position. Now we can actually start thinking about, well, setting a second person in our quarry for some reason, but we don't want to do that now. What we do want to do is actually build our clay pit. We unlocked that last time around, but we didn't actually get around to building it. So let's see. The clay pit, where is it? It's over here. It produces clay. It will need tools and stone. So we'll actually have a use for stone from that point on. Well, we have a use for stone, but we haven't actually been doing anything with it. Okay, so actually this doesn't need to be in a zone for mining. That's interesting. It does need tools and stone, so we do want to have it fairly close to where we are currently already making those two items, which is over here. Let me see. So this is the clay factory. This is the tool maker. We could either do it like this, maybe over here, and expand in this direction, but I think for now we can actually make use of this little area over here and minimize the amount of distance people actually have to move. Now I'm actually wondering if we can fit a house in between there. I don't think we can, but we might have a smaller building that we can put there later, so that's not necessarily a problem. Let's just do it like this. There we go. And that should be built pretty quickly. We have a nice surplus. We can probably assign a second person now to our quarry, because we will be using that stone. That might also be a reason to actually start improving this. Did we assign a second person to our mining station just yet? No, we didn't. Where is this person going now? It's going in here, but we want you to go in. Oh, it's actually already the maximum amount. So let's expand our slots over here. There we go. So now we have 2 people working in the coal mine, 2 people working in the iron mine, 2 people working in the quarry. That seems just fine to me. That does mean that we are using up quite a bit of lumber and coins to do exactly that, but we do have a purpose for all of that, because this one is really low on stuff actually. So let's optimize this a little further so it actually needs less of everything. And it already has trouble keeping up, so I don't think we need a second person in there for sure. And now we're also making clay. And I have no idea what we can do with clay, but we will probably be able to make something like a pottery or something at that point, at some point in time. Now we have another rat infestation. We can use the fish for that. It's just fine. Let's make sure we increase our production while this thing is up and running. We might as well make the most out of that. Now we are getting clay. We have absolutely nothing that we can do with it for the moment. It does sell for a pretty decent amount. I think we can stop selling our herbs, considering we're not making enough of that as it is. We don't necessarily need to import lumber at this point either. Let's just reset all of this. So let's see, what do we have a lot of actually? We have a lot of fish and firewood, which is not that interesting to sell. We have a little bit of surplus of leather, but to be honest, it's even not that much. We do have a lot of clothes we could sell, but right now I think we should just be selling the clay, considering we're not actually doing anything with it. Let's just keep a small amount, something like 50, and let's export everything else. Is there anything else that we want to export at this point? I don't think there is, to be honest. We do have to keep an eye on our food production. How is our hunting lodge doing? Pretty well, honestly. We could... How much food is this producing? This one. 800. That's actually quite a lot. And that's without the winter buff. So that's actually 800 from just one person. That's a lot. Although this does have an upkeep of both iron as well as lumber. So alternatively, we could just have Okay, we have another housing shortage. Let's pause the game there for a moment. Let's build a house. Let's build it neatly over here. Or over here, maybe? Ooh, it does need to be in range of our clothing shop, though, I think. Here we go. Do we need more houses? We have 22 houses, 22 families. That should be fine. So we could also consider building another fisherman hut. Alternatively, what we could also do is work on making some farms. Now, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how efficient farms are. How are we doing on gold? Seems like we're doing pretty well, but it's a little bit hard to tell, honestly. Do we have a better overview of how much stuff we're getting? So we are currently at an excess amount of coins, which of course is a good thing. I'm not entirely sure if we want to... Well, increasing the efficiency is always a good thing. So what I'm doubting a little bit is where to go from here. What is the most efficient? But to be honest, we might actually just go for the Pottery Workshop. Your citizens want and need pottery. We have the clay now, but we're not doing anything with it. Alternatively, we could go for things like mushroom farms. That sounds really interesting as well. Or something to do with our fields. To be honest, they all sound good. That is interesting. We do need to make sure we are making money. And right now, we are making some money, but we are not making a lot. At least it doesn't feel like we do. Although we are ticking up still, so I think we are good, I suppose. I may be worried about nothing. So let's see. So let's actually move into the pottery, because to be honest, the pottery is something we're going to need anyway. The only problem is that there's this in between, and that costs another 500 gold. So it'll take a little while to get there. I'm just gonna make a quick skip to that, and then let's unlock the Pottery Workshop. And there you have it. We now have the Pottery Workshop unlocked, and it's probably a good thing as well, because right now the laborers are not happy about the amount of luxuries available to them. And I am guessing that that's going to be something that they want. They want beer, tobacco, candy, candles, or brandy, actually. And pottery is a peasant luxury. So how are we going to get beer, tobacco, candles, or brandy? So tobacco is something we can plant, and that is something we can research over here. We can also make brandy, but that will require us to have wheat. So we can make beer from wheat. Well, this is beer, not brandy. Let me check. So this is... Let's pause for a moment. So beer or brandy. So we can... Yeah, so basically what we're going to need is a field of something. So either wheat or tobacco. I think we can actually plant the tobacco straight up, can't we? Let me check this. So we can plant tobacco. We could just get that straight from the field. Let's research that. And then, if I remember correctly, we had a nice little zone over here with a high fertility. We might as well make the most out of our fields. And yeah, this is going to be interesting, because if I remember correctly, farms take a huge amount of upkeep. Let's see. So a crop. Let's make a little field over here. 8 times 8 seems fine. Actually, I also kind of want a ranch. So let's do that like this. And then have a small ranch over here. Actually, no. So I don't want that. I want a ranch. There we go. And let's see, it needs a minimum pen size of 12 by 12. Let's keep it a little bit smaller and modest for now. Why can't I build that? Oh, because it wasn't 12 by 12. Never mind. It actually does need to be quite big. So then we might as well do it like that. So we are going to have to be building a little road. Let's do that one like this. And of course that does mean that we will probably want to build a little depot. Not in the fertile zone though, but we can make it right next to it over here. You should put it next to the road, right? Yep. There we go. I want my trees back. There we go. Okay, so we have a crop field here. We are going to be making some tobacco. This will have a pretty decent upkeep. Let's assign 2 people to the fields. And here we are going to be making some oats. Why? Because our whatever we're going to be growing here, or keeping here I should say, because we're not growing anything here, this is going to be our ranch. We are going to have to be able to get there some oats, because animals eat oats, and only oats in this game apparently, as far as I know. There we go. Which reminds me, we should probably take out a little part of the road over here and place a nice little road sign. There we go. Now, what can we breed here? Chickens, and only chickens apparently. We can also buy some more chickens to go along with that. We should probably assign someone to actually work here. This is just a matter of upgrading our chicken farm. We might as well do that, because it doesn't actually increase the upkeep, and it does increase the production. Now, we just bought a lot of small animals, and those animals will actually need to grow up first, so that might not have been the best idea, honestly. We are producing 250 oats, we are only using 180, so that should be fine. The adult animals are more expensive though. We have some time to wait, so I don't really see this as a problem. I want my last chicken as well. Come on, come on, give me some gold. This is actually going to cost us quite a bit of gold, as you can see. We have 300 upkeep here, 128 here, so this is 500 in total. But we are going to be able to get some tobacco out of that. And that will make sure our laborers are happy, and we are probably able to sell off some of that tobacco at some point as well. So all in all, that should be good. Let's get another chicken going here as well, and that should be fine. So now we should have solved our tobacco issue. Hello, can I check the jobs? Oh, there we go. We are down to 6 workers, which is probably already, yeah, we are getting warnings about not going any lower than that, so that should be fine. And this is also going to give us some eggs and some chickens. I assume that's qualified as food as well. Should be. And yeah, that should be fine. The royal taxes increased, so another higher fee on tools trade. That's not good. Or we can reduce the loyalty. We can increase the fee and get the loyalty back up to 100%. I think that's fine. We do really need that tobacco to start growing. But it is, as far as I can tell. What was the other things that we could do? So candles, brandy, and beer. Let me see. So the beer is going to come from the distillery, and we need some wheat as well as beer to do that. Where's the brandy supposed to come from, though? So the apiary allows the construction of the apiary. Honey and wax can quickly be on the way. Sure. But that doesn't actually make me candles just yet, does it? So I'm assuming that comes down even further down here. So yeah, here's the candle shop. And where do you make brandy? Distillery 2? Cider. Okay, so you can actually unlock things along the way. This makes brandy, this makes cider. But that's a huge amount of research down the line still. Interesting. So that also seems to imply that we should probably focus on upgrading a few things. Now we also have this mushroom farm over here that allows us to cultivate a large amount of mushrooms on mushroom farms in a very limited space. I'm actually going to research that because what I think that will allow us to do, I actually don't know. It's either food or it's supposed to also give us herbs. We'll find out. But for now, we are going to need to build some houses. So we have 23 families. Let's see. Let's turn on the grid to make sure we don't make any silly mistakes. And let's build a few houses. We are probably just going to be building 3 houses straight away. This little road over here that I keep cutting small parts out of is getting all my nerves. Wow, no, it's not getting on my nerves. It's not all of that bad, but still. Okay, so let's build another house, and we are definitely going to build another road that goes up here. We do need to keep an eye on things like our happiness and things like that. The luxury goods of the laborers actually went up quite a lot now. That's because we probably produced our first tobacco now and basically working like intended, so that's good. There's actually no way we can upgrade these things, so that is something to be aware of. Now we are up to an upkeep of 200 of that, but we are producing quite a lot of eggs as well as chickens now, so that's pretty good. All the chickens are grown, so that is working like intended. How much do we actually need of this stuff? Can we see? Last month we produced 0 and we used 0. Well, we can't use something we don't have. Oh, there we go. He is starting to sow and things like that, so that should be fine. It's still snowing in March. What else is new? We actually went down to 21 again. I'm not entirely sure we have enough of this luxury good production going on though. That said, we are up to 8 workers now again. So what we could look into is actually get a distillery going as well. In order to do that, we would actually need, let's see. Well, we are producing eggs and we are producing chickens now, so let's see. Let's go to our trade deal panel. We are currently selling clay. Let's see. The eggs. How much? What's the price of one egg? It's actually 2. Interesting. And chicken is 2 as well. But they are being consumed as fast as we are producing them, apparently. Why? Well, because people like them, I suppose. We do have to keep an eye on our food production actually, because we seem to be kind of stable around this level. And stable means that we are about to plummet down at any point in time now as soon as we get more people. And we have 37 children. People like making babies for sure. But yeah, let's see. What can we actually sell? So we have 122 clothes. So they sell pretty well. We have a lot of leather actually. So let's sell some leather. Assuming I can find it. There we go. And let's just keep selling it until we get to 300. Fish, firewood, stone. This is something we can probably also sell some of. Once again. There we go. I figured it out. It's actually sorting it by the amount of stuff you have. So that makes sense, I suppose. So let's sell some of this as well. And we can sell until we're down to 50. 50. I said 50. There we go. This should allow us to get a pretty decent amount of income. Yeah, and how is this production here going? Seems pretty stable. We are apparently down a few animals. That's weird. Why are we down animals? Okay, so we are growing this. We are going to get some tobacco out of this as well. They're really not happy about their luxury goods, but we should have that solved pretty quickly, I think. Takes a little while for this to actually come up and running, I suppose, so nothing really we can do about that. And I do think I also want to start looking into a wheat farm as well as a distillery. So the wheat farm itself, I mean, this upkeep is not anything major, I suppose, so we could make a little farm next to this. Let's check the fertility. Yep. And let's make a little farm. So let's have a crop. There we go. Actually wondering if we should make an orchard as well. Let's do that when we actually have people to work there, shall we? There we go. Now we have this going on, and then we're going to select this. We can actually grow cabbage, carrots, all the stuff people don't like to eat. At least my children don't. But no, we were going for the wheat production. There we go. We should have wheat coming up soonish. And then that also means we can focus on getting some beer. So the tobacco seems to be pretty close to done. So that's good. We should probably be building the... let's see, what does the distillery... Did I actually research the distillery yet? Nope, I didn't. Let's do that first. And this is going to need iron, tools, but that's to be built. Let's see. Distillery, where are you? It's going to consume firewood as well as wheat, and it's going to be producing beer. Okay. So I suppose it doesn't really matter that much where we place it, so we should probably place it somewhere close-ish to where we are right now. How is that research coming along? It's actually taking a little bit longer now, these things. It's not necessarily a bad thing, just interesting to note. Should we put it like that? We can also just put it in the back here. We do want it somewhat close to one of those depots though. Because otherwise we'll get into issues with moving distance, things like that. We have one of those over there actually as well. We also have one of those over here. Does it fit in here? Yeah, it actually does. So we might as well make use of that. So we have the distillery in the center of our town. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Now, I also saw that we can actually unlock stone roads at some point, which we probably will do. There we go. Upkeep, firewood. We have plenty of firewood, so that shouldn't be a problem. We also need 450 wheat. 450. I don't think we have that much, but we can reduce it a little bit by optimizing the hell out of this thing. So now we only need half of that. So this, like I said, optimizing all your buildings always worth it at any stage of the game. We need 225. How much are we actually producing? Oh, we're actually producing way more than that, so we should be fine in that regard. 384, which actually implies that we could go up. Where is it? Where is it? We could actually go up and expand this a little bit. Up to 450, that would be. And make sure we have no wheat going to waste. Let's check the production value of that actually. So what are the most expensive things we can make? So brandy is really expensive. Clothes, furniture, pottery, beer. So beer is pretty expensive. How about wheat? Wheat is not. Then again, we are consuming firewood as well as wheat to make beer, so that said, let me check the ratios. Yeah, so it's actually not all that bad. So we are using both of those as well as, of course, some coins. But the production ratio is not that bad. The luxury goods situation, however, has improved quite a bit, so that's really good. We are now making beer, we are now making tobacco so they can smoke and have their beer. We are also producing a lot of eggs, and our chickens seem to be, I'm not entirely sure if they're just dying or if they are actually, I mean, you would kind of expect these chickens to replace themselves. I mean, they're chickens, they are laying eggs. Breed some of those eggs into actual chickens. Your younglings, my lord, have been approached by some shady figures. They know this city is in a rough spot and they claim they're willing to help at the price. Well, to put it bluntly, they want some of our young people. Unfortunately, I can likely guess what their plans with them are. I have a counter-proposal. Shackle him up and send him to the mainland. Let the king's men deal with his despicable trafficking. Or, God forgive me, but our people need supplies. Hell no. Keep your hands off our children. We are not shipping them off to do whatever filthy things you think of doing with them. And our people are correctly happy that we did so. Okay, so the laborer luxuries are just fine. We have a lot of tobacco going on, and soon we'll also have beer. The peasant luxuries are actually getting pretty low. So we are producing furniture, of course, and we are producing pottery. But apparently not in such amounts that we're very easily keeping up with the demands of our people. So in order to fix that, what we could actually do, we are producing way more lumber than we need at the moment, so we could just expand this and have another person make more furniture. Well, I'm saying that, but weren't we selling that? Let me check. Well, we're actually not selling the furniture, we're only selling the clothes. So as long as we are producing a decent amount of those, we're not running out, let's put it like that. So maybe we shouldn't necessarily worry about the clothing. What we should be worrying about is our next target then. And well, to be honest, the Pottery Workshop is the next thing on the list, and there's also an upgrade available to that, and that increases the Pottery Workshop if there's another Pottery Workshop close. There's also this. Honey and wax can be quickly on the way. I don't necessarily think we have a reason to build an apiary if... Well, honey is actually food as well, I suppose. So that could be interesting, actually. Let's go for that. And let's also make sure we build that in the next episode, because this episode is getting to about half an hour, and I think that's a nice little sweet spot for that. Why is this not working? Because it doesn't have wheat, and that's probably because the wheat is still being built over here. At least I assume it is. I'm not entirely sure if we need more fields to optimize that production chain, but we'll find out if we have it running a little bit longer than we do now. All in all, expanded our luxury production quite a bit. Our town is getting to a pretty decent size. I can't even fit it on the screen anymore, although that's partially because we expanded it quite far out. That is of course due to the fact that we are on one of the challenging maps. So if you have some of the other maps, you might have things like fertility and stuff like that a lot more around. I did want to optimize that a little bit, so that's why we went all the way out there. We did also have the ore stuff over here. So if you have some of these more easy maps, you might be able to kind of build a more small colony, but I think so far we're doing pretty well. We are already in year 10 and we haven't actually lost anyone, so I think, yeah, that track record speaks for itself. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this series, and if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe, and I hope I catch you in the next one.